Namaste, everyone. Welcome to this Yin Flow for this week. I want to begin by stating yesterday was Valentine's Day. I was teaching at another studio for Valentine's Day, and I thought I would bring in different quotes from Rumi talking about love. And the very premise of the practice began stating this quote by Rumi: "Love is not an emotion. It is our very existence." So hear that again. Love is not just an emotion. It is our very existence. Phew. Sorry about that. So as we continued to go through the practice and as we were steeping in different poses, I was also bringing in other Rumi quotes. I'm just going to share those with you now because we're actually going to take the last one and then move it into our premise for today's practice. Let yourself be silently drawn towards the strange pull of what you really love, because it will never lead you astray. Wherever you are and whatever you do, be in the state of love. Again, these are all by Rumi. You may learn by reading, but you understand with love. Love is from the infinite and will remain for eternity. And I love this next one. Love is the bridge between you and everything else. All right. And so what I ended the practice with last night when they were lying in Shavasana, this was their contemplative food for thought. Again, a quote by Rumi. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against love. I'm going to say that one again because this is the beginning of our practice today. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. And so with that last quote, I just want to share the Pink Floyd song, Another Brick in the Wall. And I know that we all know this song. And that is metaphorical for negative experiences, for stress, and for trauma, building brick by brick by brick, which creates a divide or a separation, not only between ourselves and our higher self, but the access to the love pouring in and being able to be shared. The giving and the receiving and letting that move fluidly and gracefully to and from yourself and people and places and situations. So that's why I wanted to focus on for our yin practice, because in our yin poses, it's about surrendering, releasing, letting go of the past, letting go of those things that have created the barriers within us that keep us divided or separated from experiencing that deep, profound love. And so while we're going through the practice today, I just want you to do the inner investigative work, because this is the point of the practice, to look inwardly at ourselves to see, do we have a barrier that we've built? Do we have that brick wall, and can we take it down brick by brick by doing the inner work and healing ourselves from our past so that we can be fully optimal in the present moment, which leads to our destiny in the future. So we're definitely going to be using 2 blocks. And a lot of yoga teachers actually call blocks brick. So I may be interchanging that term today, but we'll go ahead and meet on the mat. And if you can, sit on a singular or a double block, please. And the other one can move to the front side of your mat. So we're actually going to be starting here. I'm trying to do this pose more because we did it a whole lot in India when I was practicing there. And I don't find that Americans use this pose enough. So let's go ahead and begin sitting on the shins and ankles. And the first thing we're going to do is inhale, lift the shoulders up towards the ears, and exhale, roll them down and back. And you're going to continue that. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, and exhale, roll them down and back. Continue rolling the shoulders. Last one. And then rest with your palms open on your lap. And notice how the chest may feel broader or more buoyant. Sit and breathe. And as you're sitting, centering, and breathing, notice where in the upper body you may feel weakened or tightly woven, or feeling as though you want to collapse. So if it's your belly, it may be that you need to strengthen your core, or energetically and emotionally tap back into your strength and power. If you feel like your chest is wanting to cave in and your shoulders are wanting to droop forward, you could very well have that brick or barrier built up around the heart. And sometimes we have to have that protection. We need that shield. But we're going to try to break down the shield, this block, through each breath and each position we do today. Let's join our hands to prayer position at the heart. Open up your eyes. And as you inhale, shift your weight forward. Come to standing Vajrasana. Maybe onto diamond, if that's okay for the shoulders and neck. And then as you exhale, hands come down the center, back to your heart, as you sit back on your heels for a block. Inhale, standing Vajrasana, or continuing through diamonds. Exhale, slowly sitting down. So we're working the quads here. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, releasing down. 2 more. Feel free to use that Ujjayi pranayama. We're going to change it. Inhale, coming up. Standing Vajrasana, chin parallel to the floor. Exhale, rotate to the right. Separate your hands. Lean back. And inhale, drive it forward. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, pull forward. 3 more. Last one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist left and lean back. Inhale, drive forward. Exhale, crank it back. Few more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fan your arms away. You're not sinking to sit. You're sinking to grab that block and set it out in front of you and form tabletop position. For tabletop, we're going to extend the left leg to the left side and plant the foot. Keep your neck in line with your spine and look down between your hands. Apply a little bit of pressure down through the left padding of the foot. And feel that very gentle, sweet stretch through the inner thigh. And then build yourself up, lifting arms away. And then letting the left arm release down to the left leg or hip into Parigasana gate pose. Think about being in gate and opening up the side gates of the heart. Inhale, coming back. Exhale, slide your left foot in just a couple inches, bend the knee. So it looks like this from the side, since I'm going the other direction. So look at it. It's like Warrior Two, except instead of standing on the back leg, we're on the back knee. Okay, so from our Warrior Two, and gazing out over the left fingertips, feel the work happening in the left hip. Keep rolling open through your left thigh, and now set your elbow down, reach the right arm up overhead. So again, like a modified side angle. My left hip is more sensitive today, but if you feel like you can drop your hand to the floor, then you can set it inside your ankle. Otherwise, stay propped, as I'm demoing now. All right, inhale, straighten out your left leg, teeter the right hand to the floor, lift your back foot. So I'm just gonna turn sideways so I'm not confusing you here. So your left leg is up, you're pushing out through your heel, and then tiptoe down with that foot. Arc up through your side ribs, let your head go, and let your left arm C-curve over the ear. All right, so that's the general shape you're in. And it's okay to step off your mat. Now let your left arm come down in front of your face. Plant your left heel and walk your hands back in front. Now we're back where we started. So lower your left knee, extend your right leg, plant the foot. From here, stay stacked on your hands. Look down towards your mat. Activate the right foot so you can feel the work occurring through the inseam of the leg. And then walk your hands back, come on up, arms reaching alongside the ears, and then exhale, teeter over to the right. So the right hand can land to your shin, thigh, hip, Parigasana gate. Being that question, when, what, and how, or even who helped to build that barrier or brick wall around the heart. Inhale, coming up. Lift your right hand, turn your right toes out, slide your heel in slightly, lunge that right knee. Now you're coming into, right, this version of Warrior Two. If that knee falls in, keep rolling open through the thigh bone. Now take the variation of side angle. Resting on the elbow, left arm overhead. If this right hip feels pretty good, maybe setting the hand down inside your foot. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, land your left hand. Elevate your right foot. So it's like Vasisthasana, kind of like a modified form of side plank. Now tiptoe the right toes to the floor. Puff up through your right side ribs. Let your arm and head hang down. Now let your right arm come forward. Stack back onto hands and both knees. Rock your hips forward. Exhale, slide it back to extended child's. And keep going. Inhale, back bends. Exhale, counter stretch child's. Continue. But as you're continuing, focus at your shoulders and up dog. If they're kind of poking forward, then spread them wide, collarbones elongated, shoulders back, and then push back to child's. Now rock up to hands and knees. Exhale, curl the toes. Lift up to downward facing dog. And when you come up to downward facing dog, spread out your fingers. Let your middle finger point straight ahead. Unless you're like a weight lifter and you have really broad, bulky arms and shoulders, then it may be better for you to slightly dial your hands out. Travel the fingertips back towards your feet. Bend your knees once you arrive. And let your upper body hang over and free. All right, as your upper body hangs down, I gotta shed this sweatshirt, it got hot. But stay folded over, hinging from your hips. Let your neck release. And I want you to think about when you're in this pose, how it's really opening up the backside of the body, right? And in Eastern cultures, they often say that we hold a lot of our past in the back of the body. So think about any past experiences dripping away. Perhaps the attitude we gained from those experiences dripping and falling away to free up not only the mind and body, but most especially the heart and that ebb and flow of love. We want to not only acknowledge there's an infinite supply of love, but we want to embody that fact. Feel free to explore a longer, slower out breath here. Now let's walk the hands out in front of us, long enough to bend the knees, to bring them on down and untuck the toes. We're gonna move the arms forward to puppy. So as your arms stretch out, make sure you're not bowing the back. So your belly's in, your ribs are in, your shoulders stay up. Very similar to the angle we get in downward facing dog, at least from the wrists to the hips. So you're not only suctioning in through the belly, you're pushing down through your hands in order to create the action involved here. But we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. We're going to let the breath escape through the mouth and surrender to the brow. Release the elbows to the floor. Relax into your shoulders, let your heart lower, your belly lower. Anahatasana, melting heart. I want you to consider when we see loved ones or just people out on the streets that have a very rounded upper back and their shoulders are shrouding forward and their heads kind of poking forward. Often that's a short tail sign of experiences in life that have made them go into protection mode. And so, again, the idea of the yoga, the meditation, is to shed that out in a way so that we can still stay open and free. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and bring ourselves back to tabletop with our hands slightly ahead of the shoulders so that we can curl the toes. Lift back up to downward facing dog and then start moving your feet forward. When they arrive at the top of the mat, you're going to push them down, straighten out through your legs so you're forming more of an uttanasana, the active version of what we did at the back of the mat. Notice how we've recruited the muscles now. Changes up the sensation and work. Let's root the feet and inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive back down, Uttanasana. Inhale, step your left foot way back. Bring your arms up, crescent. Exhale, wing your arms. Open the front gate of the heart. So we did this Monday in our gentle flow, but we were moving and waving, right? Here, we're just holding it steady. Bring the hands down, lower the back knee, and bow your head. Curl the back toes under. When you're ready, step into your plank. We'll take a vinyasa, dropping to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Inhale, left foot steps through. Arms lift up, crescent. Exhale, wing the arms, open the chest. Hands come to the floor, back knee settles down. Untuck the back foot, collapse over the front knee. Again, staying in contemplative mode, going within, discovering if in fact you do have any blocks, barriers, or bricks built up to prohibit that ebb and flow and ease of love. It's not just an emotion, it is our existence. Love is from the infinite and lasts for eternity. Let's curl the back toes under, lift that knee, step that foot forward, straighten out through your leg bones. Come to your Uttanasana. Inhale, root your feet, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, and we'll separate the feet wide and then drop into Kali Goddess. From Kali Goddess, we're going to come on down to Malasana squat. If you need a brick to sit on, bring it underneath your tailbone. If you need to come on down to the floor, do that. Otherwise, be here. Let's bring ourselves down to the ground. Slide the feet forward. Stack your hands to your shins and do some seated cat-cows. after your next cat stretch. Inhale, come up. Hands to the insides of the knees so that you can lift one leg and hook the hand and arm underneath the calf muscles, bringing the middle finger to meet the thumb for Shuni Mudra, representing patience. Again, checking in with your heart space. Are you rounding out? Are you collapsing the chest? Can you keep it lifted and open? All right, I'm going to show you some different angles of the next pose that we're going to create. And I'm going to show you from behind first. Find one of these bricks or blocks. Your right heel comes in, your left leg's going to move out to the side. And your block's going to come to the outside of the left leg so that you can rest here. And we're stretching out this band of the body that's right above the waistline, even in the mid to lower back. And you can also, of course, turn the block lower if that's what you need. All right, now that I've showed you from the back side, let your right arm just hang free, but rest the palm open. Close your eyes. Form your relationship with your breath. Merge with your breath. Now coming up, this is where you may want that second block or brick. Again, tall height. Maybe this is good, resting in prayer hands. If that's not giving you enough, try the second level, medium size. And if you're still wanting more, the lower size. Just remember, as you lower the blocks down, you don't want to take the yin poses to 100% of your flexibility. Shy away from going that far. Coming up, we're going to use the two blocks of bricks again, but we're going to twist the upper body towards the straight leg, slide or walk the blocks out, and I'll show you from this angle, and then your head bows. So we're going through a little dragonfly series. This is actually a half dragonfly. But I want you to know that dragonflies and butterflies both represent transformation. So coming up, now we'll do this dragonfly series. Swapping the legs, of course, right leg out, left heel draws in towards the pubic bone. We start with one to the outside of the right leg, then we rest the elbow, or start the tall height first. If that feels pretty inviting and you feel encouraged to spill the block to a lower level, then do that. And this is more of a side bend, but without lifting an arm overhead. Enough. Both bricks out in front. Start on the tallest height first. And if you want to transition to something lower, again, just making sure it's not 100% to your edge of flexibility. And then we're going to incorporate the twist, right? So think about your whole belly rotating to face the right leg. Blocks on any height, slide them out. Lower your head. And this is going to act as our final twist today, actually. Lift up, and you want both of these with you, beside you, about halfway down your mat. Because we're going to lower to the back. We're going to tuck and lift to supported bridge. And then you can determine here, do you want the knees to be bent or the legs to be extended? Love is a bridge between you and everything else. And then if you walk the feet back, tuck and lift and roll down to the floor, we're going to use these bricks up underneath our knees for Baddha Konasana, for Shavasana today. And stay in the contemplative mode, the self-study, determining if there's anything that's created a barrier around your heart, around the giving and receiving of love, absorbing or embodying love. Focus back on the body, relaxing all 10 toes, the arches and ankles of both feet. Relax your calves, thighs, and ensure that you have enough support for your hips. Belly, bellow as you breathe. And let your heart center expand each and every in-breath. Maintain that expansion even when you let the breath go. Relax and soften your shoulders, arms, and hands. Relax your neck, your head, your face, your jaw. time to really drop in. Hopefully, you've been able to drop any barriers around your heart. Let's contract the inner thighs and draw the knees together. And then wrap your arms around your legs, hugging them in. Staying here on your back a moment, stretching it out. And rocking to give your kidneys a little love. Rolling to one side of the body. Coming up to 6. Place the hands together to prayer. In this practice inspired by Rumi, let's continue to allow our love to flow. Let's continue to break any barriers down so that we're not adding another brick to the wall. The light within me honors and bows to the same within each of you. Namaste.